So recently I bought a Wii U in the year 2024 because I thought, hey, why not? It was like 70 bucks and I never owned a Wii U, so I figured, hey, why not go for it? And upon booting it up, getting everything set up, all that good, jazzy stuff, I came to realize that, wow, this system, despite being, understandably bad and not that well received by the populace at the time, was a really, really snazzy system. And it made me think to myself, between the Wii U and the 3DS and the Switch, there's been this big leap. Yeah, the Switch is obviously better than both those systems combined. It's even between the three of them the most sold system. But there's this growing issue I've been noticing, and a lot of people have been talking about this recently, and it's more or less how ever since Nintendo basically won the console wars, it kind of was never in a war to begin with because Nintendo's like in a league of its own from Sony and Microsoft. It's been kind of losing its spark, and this has been a growing issue, I would say, since 2017 up until this point. And I figured I would want to go over that with you guys. So strap in and get ready for another Kamtendo discussion. I guess that's what we're calling these. Ever since the year 2013, when I first got my 3DS, I was in love with the UI, the Mii system, Miiverse, playing Pokemon X and Y, seeing how live everything, felt back then. And even back in 26 or 06, back when I got my Wii for Christmas, I was in love with the UI, I was in love with the music, the Mii Maker music, the Wii channel, all these awesome things. And going to the Switch, it feels like a lot of that stuff is missing. I really miss this era of Nintendo when it came to music, UI, the snazziness, just how satisfying it all felt. So let's start with the Wii. Of course, we live in an age now where a lot of people prefer to use Wii music over most like non-copyright sounds because that nostalgia, that feeling, the okay, I'm gonna stop singing, but you know what I'm talking about, the iconic Mii theme, that entire era of Nintendo. You even see people playing like Wii Sports music in the background of their videos, which I might be doing right now, who knows. But I really just enjoy that era of Nintendo. Even though this wasn't really when the snazziness happened, this was the start of what a lot of us know now as the Nintendo aesthetic. And by that, I mean cool UI, cool music, Mii's everywhere, the iconic Mii music, the Wii Sports music. It's what you all know now as the Nintendo aesthetic. Even though Wii Shop music, even though I didn't really have internet at the time, I would just put it on a Wii channel so I can listen to that iconic Wii Shop music. And we move on to the Wii U, which again, I just bought it. So I set up my Wii U, I'm looking at it, and even though the internet at the time recording this video, the online services have shut down, I was seeing videos of a lot of people at the time looking or booting up their Wii U's and seeing the Miiverse and all these characters Mii's talk about these games. And granted, even now the Wii U, the startup is very slow. That is probably one of the big issues with the Wii U, is that it takes it quite a while to boot up compared to the Switch, which is like, the iconic, everything's quick. But the Wii U, even then, it still had that iconic aesthetic to it. The Wii Shop music, the eShop music, I should say, the Wii themes, all of these iconic things were still there, even down to Miiverse. And this is probably going to be another section, so I'm going to talk about that later. But everything about the Wii U felt so alive. The system itself had this soul to it, even though, again, the Wii U is quite literally one of Nintendo's biggest failures. It had this feeling of life to it, and I love that about the system. I still play the Wii U, even though, again, it's a dead system. I still play it because I just love how alive that system feels and how great that system, looks, or rather the UI, everything about it just looked so great and good to look at. And then we move on to probably, me personally, my favorite one because when I played the most, the 3DS family of systems. This again was just like the Wii U. It was very much alive. It had its own aesthetic going on. It had themes. Oh my god, bro. Themes? Are you kidding me? No system besides this system. I didn't even know the Wii U didn't have themes until I tried to was change it, because you know how the 3DS had like the default themes, like the red, blue, yellow, green. I thought the Wii U had that. Turns out it didn't, and that was probably one of my biggest what? Like the Wii U doesn't have themes? Granted, yes, I am finding this out in the year 2024. I had no interest in the Wii U back when I was a teenager, but I can't fathom that. The Wii U not having that, it feels so off compared to how great and how cool it feels to have themes on a 3DS. And just not even that, bro. The friend system, which is something else the Wii U has, the friend system, being able to talk to people via Miiverse, which is probably where I'm going to move on next, the Miiverse section. The Miiverse was such an amazing experience, and I can understand why it got shut down. Like, a lot of people on Miiverse were kind of weird. Let's be completely honest here. Yes, Miiverse was an amazing experience for a majority of people, but for every 3 people you meet in Miiverse, there's always one of them that's a bit of a weirdo, bit of a nut job, if you want to say. But even so, playing games like Splatoon 1 and seeing those comments, or heck, even playing Mario Kart, or most importantly, 3D World, and seeing people's comments on the courses, seeing Mario Maker comments. Granted, it's also like that on the Switch, but when it came to games Splatoon 1, seeing people's courses on the map, I don't think that's a feature in 2 and 3, and seeing people's comments all I can't really explain it, because again, I never really got to experience Wii U during its online exposure. I literally I gotten the Wii U faster maybe, but seeing that flavor, that soul, is so satisfying to me. And this issue isn't just within the systems itself, but I'm gonna move on to the Switch, right? You got your Switch. I have 2 Switches, and I love them both. Don't get me wrong, the Switch is an amazing system. Again, most old system of all time by this point. But it doesn't have that flavor, It doesn't have that soul that the 3DS and the Wii U and the Wii had. There's no Mii Maker, or there is one, but it has no theme, 0 theme. If you go into the Switch's code, there was a scrapped eShop theme that was meant to play. It's the year 2024. The system released in 2017. It's heavily implied that there are gonna be themes on this thing, but we only have the black and white themes. I remember at some point, what was it, back in 2020, 2021, there were even achievements at some point that were gonna be coded in that got completely cut. So I don't really know what exactly is going on with the Switch's system, and I feel like due to the Switch's success, they felt like they kind of didn't need to include these things that Sony and Microsoft have, or mostly just Sony, because Sony kind of don't have themes anymore with the PS5. But I feel like Nintendo's success has very much made them very, I want to say, complacent. And I know that sounds very bold of me to say, considering how great of a success the system is. The Switch had a very strong launch. We got Breath of the Wild, we got Mario Odyssey, ARMS, all these amazing games. And it was that new console high that a lot of us had getting the system, where we all felt like in a moment we needed to have the system, which of course it's a Nintendo system. Why wouldn't you not want to have a Nintendo system? A lot of what I loved about Nintendo was how different it was. Sony and Microsoft are very much just kind of meh in terms of UI and visual flair, even back then when it came to Nintendo Directs. Now the Directs are very much kind of boring, and I know that sounds really strange to say, but back then, if you guys remember the earlier Directs, Nintendo used to go all out, and it wasn't even that. Back when E3 was still a thing, back in like the 2010s and early 2000s, Nintendo had a lot of stuff going on that set them apart from most other showcases. Remember when they literally had a whole robot chicken E3? Like they got the robot chicken creators to come and make like an entire presentation and like skits and stuff. We might never get that again. And I feel like ever since the passing of Iwata, and I rest in peace, I feel like after he passed away, a big part of Nintendo died with him, and that was this amazing visual flair that they used to have, this aesthetic. Now it honestly feels like Nintendo's like just slap Mario on it and call it a day, or slap Pikachu on it and call it a day, or Zelda or Link. You know, it's not as cool as it used to be. I miss the era of Nintendo prior to the Switch. And again, I love my Switch. I love everything about my Switch, but I wish the Switch would strive to not be like the Wii U, because God, no, I would never want that. I wanted to have that visual flair, that aesthetic, that awesomeness that, you know, the 3DS and Wii U and Wii used to have. I want new snazzy themes to use in the background of YouTube videos. I want people that also have that experience. And everybody loves the Switch, and again, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't want to become a record replaying the same thing, but the Switch is missing what used to, for me personally, make Nintendo, which was the fact that it was different from the other games. It was different from the other systems. They were different from the other companies. Now I feel like Nintendo's success kind of made them boring. It made them feel like they don't need to try to move on. They don't need to put in the extra work, because whatever they put out or whatever they make is gonna sell. And my only hope is that if the Switch 2 is a real system, it strives to do more. It strives to give us that oomph that this system really, in my personal opinion, needs. After looking at my Wii U, playing through my 3DS games, which I still do, it really feels like they went downhill in terms of, again, visual aesthetic. And I sound really sad saying this, and it's because I actually am. It really sucks seeing your favorite company kind of lose its spark, and I really wish they would go back, to doing that. I want to be able to have Mii's to use. You know how much it sucks playing like Nintendo Switchboards and having to use what we fans call it, like the Swees. The Mii's were such an amazing part of what made that era of Nintendo so cool, because they were basically like Sims. We all beg for Tomodachi Life to come to Switch, but we can't make more than one Mii, or at least I think we can. And it would really suck to not have access to a proper Mii Maker app so we can make these awesome Mii's. I mean, we got Miitopia, I believe, and again, it was just really, I really just miss this, dude. It really sucks. Who would have thought getting a Wii U would make you sad in the year 2024? Actually, that's not that far-fetched now that I think about it. I bought a Wii U in 2024. I could have bought Princess Peach Showtime. Wow. Well, that's going to be all for this video, guys. If you guys want to listen or watch more videos like this, make sure to like and subscribe, click the notification bell. My name is Kamtendo. Thank you guys so much for listening to this somber story, and I will see you guys when I see you. Bye. Get that flair back, Nintendo.